Saber's full kit is finally out, and in this video, I'm going to go over everything you need to know. Her playstyle is honestly wild. She's a 5-star wind character who builds up resources, dumps energy in huge bursts, and can take action again before enemies even react. It's a fast, aggressive kit with a lot of moving parts, so let's break it all down. If you want to save up to 25% on the Hyacine and Herta banners, check out lootbar.gg. Here, I can buy 3,280 Wuneric shards for $40, while it costs $50 in-game. I just enter my UID and select a server. Since every top-up goes through the in-game channel, I received double the Oniric shards for my first purchase and saved $10. Besides Honkai, you can also top up in Genshin, and Lootbar has over 50,000 satisfied users. I regularly use Lootbar for my giveaways, so I can personally recommend it. Use my link in the description for an additional 10% discount. Let's walk through what she actually does, because this isn't your usual auto attack into ult rotation. Right from the start of battle, she gets a resource called Core Resonance. This is the core of her entire kit, pun fully intended. She builds it, consumes it, and uses it to power up both her energy regeneration and her damage. You'll see that name pop up constantly, so just remember, Core Resonance equals fuel. Now, her standard attack is simple wind damage, but after she uses her ultimate once, even that changes. The next basic attack gets upgraded into something completely different. An all-enemy AoE that not only deals solid wind damage, but also gives her more core resonance. And if there are fewer enemies alive, she actually deals more damage to the remaining ones. Yeah, usually in these games, fewer enemies means weaker AoE value, but Saber flips that logic on its head. Her skill is where the real layering begins. It hits a main enemy and splashes some damage onto adjacent ones. If she already has Core Resonance and she's in a state where consuming it would fully charge her energy bar, the skill's damage gets a bonus. That bonus scales based on how much Core Resonance she has. Each stack gives an extra 14% multiplier. And when she does go through with that full energy conversion, she instantly consumes all her Core Resonance and maxes her energy. Otherwise, if she's not quite ready, she just gains 2 Core Resonance on the spot. It's a smart mechanic. Simple use gives her fuel, but when timed perfectly, it supercharges her burst. Speaking of burst, her ultimate is where everything explodes. Literally. It starts with a strong AoE hit, dealing wind damage to all enemies, and then follows up with 10 separate strikes, each randomly hitting one enemy. These follow-up hits are individually scaled and happen back to back. That alone makes it super flashy, but it also changes her entire playstyle for the next turn. After using it, her regular attack is replaced with the special upgraded version I mentioned earlier, and only that version can be used until it's spent. Her talent ties everything together. It gives her 1 Core Resonance when the battle starts, which already means you're not starting from zero. But the big interaction happens when your teammates use their ultimates. Every time that happens, Saber gets a 40% damage boost for 2 turns and gains 3 Core Resonance instantly. So her whole flow becomes a timing dance. You want to build her up, then align your team's ults to push her into overdrive. And here's something that might fly under the radar. Consuming Core Resonance also restores energy, 10 points per stack. That makes her loop incredibly tight if you manage it well. Even her technique plays into this resource game. If you use it before a battle, she gains a 35% ATK boost for 2 turns and starts the fight with 2 Core Resonance. So instead of just walking into battle, you're walking in charged and ready to combo. Now let's go back to that upgraded basic attack, because it's more than just flash. It hits all enemies for solid wind damage, gives her more Core Resonance, and has scaling bonuses depending on how many enemies are left. If there are 2 enemies alive, she deals even more AoE damage. If there's only 1 left, the bonus is still significant. It's like the game's telling you, don't worry, even when the fight's almost over, Saber's not slowing down. Her passives only make things more intense. One of them gives her a permanent 20% critical rate boost. That's already strong, but it gets crazier. When she enters battle and uses that enhanced basic ATK, she gains something called Mana Burst. And if she ever has both Mana Burst and Core Resonance at the same time, her skill instantly regenerates all her energy. She consumes Mana Burst, and your team recovers a skill point while Saber immediately takes another action. No delay, she just moves again. Another passive lets her store up to 120 energy, yes, way above the usual cap. And when she uses her ultimate, any excess energy is converted and partially refunded. If she starts a battle with less than 40 energy, she auto-refills up to 40. So she never really falls behind in energy, and that means her ultimate loop is more consistent than it sounds at first glance. She also has a crit damage boost tied to her skill, 50% for 2 turns whenever she uses it. That's massive for burst windows, especially with her other buffs stacked on top. And now, the Idolons, which add even more spice. Her first one gives her 50% increased overall damage, flat. And every time she uses a basic ATK or skill, she gets an extra core resonance, so her resource cycle speeds up dramatically. The second Idolon adds 50% critical damage specifically to her skill and upgraded basic attack. And then it gives her a stacking effect. Every core resonance gained boosts her crit damage by 5%, up to 10 stacks. That's another 50% crit DMG on top if you're playing right. Her third and fifth Idolons are just level boosts, raising the caps for her ultimate skill, basic ATK, and talent. The fourth one is for penetration. It increases her wind resistance penetration by 4%, and after every ultimate, that value stacks up to 4 times. So in longer fights, she just keeps punching through defenses. And her sixth Idolon is Wild. Her ultimate gains 20% resistance penetration, and when she enters a battle and uses her ultimate for the first time, she instantly regains 300 energy. Yes, 300. Then, after using 4 ultimates total in that same fight, the effect happens again. That means you get 2 massive bursts of energy just from going through her standard loop, which lines up perfectly with how her kit is built. So let's put this all together. Saber is not just a fast-wind nuker, she's a high-efficiency engine. If you manage her core resonance well, pair her with allies that can feed her ults, and time your mana burst correctly, she can loop her skills and ultimates back to back while restoring skill points for your team and constantly pushing the action forward. Is she beginner-friendly? Probably not. There's a lot to keep track of. But is she rewarding for players who like to optimize time rotations and make smart use of energy? Absolutely. And mechanically, she's one of the cleanest homages to her original Fate concept. Anyway, I'm super curious what you all think. Are you pulling for her? Do you already see team comps in your head? Or are you waiting to see how she performs in live content first? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Save up to 25% on the current banners at lootbar.gg. All you need is your UID and server. The link is in the description.